Very good afternoon and welcome to Europe News presented by Desi and Europe. These are the headlines for today. Sri Lanka is burning and presidential house is occupied by the protesters. Former Japanese PM Shinzo Abe was shot dead in Tokyo. Royal Air Force fighter jets are being reached to Finland and Sweden for joint training exercise of UK, Finland and NATO. Johnson's resignation will not affect Finland-UK defence deal. Many people marched to White House in support of abortion rights. And the topic of discussion today, can a man marry with an alligator? So let's go to the details of these news. So Sri Lanka is burning and presidential house is occupied by the protester. This is very, very bad news coming from Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is currently on fire. On Saturday, a large number of demonstrators occupied the presidential place. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's resignation was being called for. After seeing how things are going, Rajapaksa decided to leave and gave his resignation notice on July 13th. On Saturday, demonstrators set fire to the home of Sri Lanka's Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, who also offered to resign. In the meantime, a number of films that were being taken inside the presidential house and are now in the hands of demonstrators began to go popular on social media. At the most famous structure in the nation, protesters could be seen having a good time. In the gym and swimming pool, people could be seen working out. Afghanistan also witnessed a similar picture last year. After the US military left Afghanistan in August 2021, the Taliban took over the control of Kabul. Armed Taliban fighters entered important structures like the presidential place and governor's house and started having fun. Images and videos from the presidential mansion showed people jumping on beds, looking for food in the kitchen, swimming in the pool, taking showers in the bathroom, playing the piano, and yelling slogans in the hall where the Sri Lankan flag was flying. Protesters have been alleging that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahindra are leading the country to economic ruin. This is true, as well as Rajapaksa's family have been ruling Sri Lanka for many years. The worst ever decision taken by them is to get loan from China. The money borrowed from China by Gotabaya Rajapaksa's administration for development projects was lost. When the debt could no longer be serviced, the situation deteriorated to the point that China took control of Hambantota port. Due to Sri Lanka's current economic situation, several basic commodities like fuel, gasoline are no longer available. The nation is without electricity for 13 hours. The Rajapaksa's administration proclaimed a state of emergency as soon as people began to gather in the streets. The government nevertheless disbanded the cabinet, which included several members of Rajapaksa's family, after realizing that the public outrage would not abate. Another bad news from Japan. Former Japanese PM Shinzo Abe was shot dead in Tokyo. A gunman shot the former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe on Friday while he was giving a campaign rally on the street in western Japan. The attack shook the country, which have the strictest gun control laws in the world. The 67-year-old Abe, who served as the longest serving Prime Minister of Japan until his resignation in 2020, collapsed and started bleeding. He was taken to hospital in Nara, even though his heart had stopped and he was not breathing. After getting numerous blood transfusions, officials said he was later declared dead. Hidetada Fukushima, head of emergency department at Nara Medical University, claimed that Abe had significant cardiac damage in addition to two neck wounds that had ruptured an artery. According to Fukushima, he never regained his vital signs. Yamagami, 41 years old, a former member of Japanese Navy, was detained by police at the scene of shooting on suspicion of murder. Police claimed he used a rifle that was plainly homemade and was about 15 inches or 40 centimeters long. When they searched his neighboring one-room flat, they found other weapons and his computer. According to police, Yamagami was answering inquiries calmly and had admitted attacking Abe, stating agents he had planned to kill him because of allegation about the former leader's affiliation with an unspecified organization. Japan is renowned for having tight gun regulations. Without a population of 125 million, there were just 10 gun-related criminal cases in the last year. Leaders from throughout the world paid tribute to Abe, many of whom expressed astonishment and grief. Finnish president also expressed his condolence. Niinisto wrote, "Deeply shocked to hear about the violent attack against former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. My thoughts are with his family and loved ones and the people of Japan." Prime Minister Sanna Marin also expresses her condolences on the behalf of Finnish government to Abe's loved ones and to the people of Japan. Another news from Finland. So Royal Air Force fighter jets are being reached to Finland and Sweden for joining training exercises of UK, Finland and NATO. According to Defence Secretary of UK, Ben Wallace, the deployment, which was requested by both countries, highlighted the UK's dedication to enhancing collective defense capabilities. The exercise also comes in response to the nation's NATO membership requests after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Two state-of-art F-35 planes are among the participating aircraft. According to UK defense authorities, they are participating in high-end warfighting training with four RAF Typhoons, Finnish F-18 Hornets, and Swedish Gripen planes. According to Ministry of Defense, the purpose of training exercises is to give three air forces a chance to improve their capacity to work together. Finland and Sweden are vital defense partners, according to Mr. Wallace, and their membership in NATO will make the alliance stronger as we face a renewed danger in Europe. These deployments show our commitment to strengthen that collaboration and make sure our forces can operate in unison, he continued. Another news. So Johnson's resignation will not affect Finland-UK defense deal. The defense cooperation agreement between the Finland and United Kingdom that was signed in May will not be affected by the resignation of British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, according to national television Yle, which cited Defense Minister Antti Kaikkonen on Thursday. In order to help one another during the time of crisis, including military, President Sauli Niinisto and British Prime Minister Boris Johnson signed a defense cooperation agreement on 11th May in Helsinki. And we already updated you about this news. However, following a string of scandals, Johnson resigned as both the head of Conservative Party and the Prime Minister of Great Britain. According to Kaikkonen, the mutual agreements between Finland and UK are not personal, they are between the states. In this regard, such personality changes, which happen in politics occasionally, do not influence relations or commitments between the nations. Nevertheless, Boris Johnson will remain in office until a new Tory leader is selected. Another news from United States. Many people marched to the White House in support of abortion rights. To protest the recent reversal of abortion rights, thousands gathered in the United States Capitol on Saturday, walking through the torrential rain and running the risk of being arrested. The protest took place 2 weeks after the Supreme Court overturned the decision that had for nearly 50 years guaranteed abortion access in every state. Protesters gathered outside the White House, yelling, "We won't go back." Some of them had tied themselves to the gates. According to organizers, more than 10,000 individuals came from all over the US. On the other hand, anti-abortion activists, many of whom consider abortion to be a murder, have praised the court's order and the chance it presents to abolish the procedure nationwide. In response to pressure from progressives, Biden issued an executive order on Friday urging his health department to maintain patient privacy, access to medical abortion, and emergency contraception. However, the president's authority is constrained. He cannot force Congress to pass legislation and he cannot overturn the Supreme Court's ruling, which currently has 6-3 conservative supermajority. However, I will update you after getting more news regarding this matter. Finally, the topic of discussion: can a man marry with an alligator? In a traditional indigenous ceremony supposed to bring prosperity, a Mexican mayor marries an alligator. Hugo Sosa, the mayor of San Pedro Huamelula in southwest Mexico, married an alligator last week, bringing prosperity to the city's citizens. In a ceremony that has roots in pre-Hispanic periods and the indigenous tribes of Mexico, Sosa wed the little reptile on Thursday. Residents reportedly danced to the traditional music and pleaded with the mayor to kiss them off. Mr. Sosa was repeatedly seen placing his lips on the small alligator, confident that the animal's jaws had been secured shut to prevent biting. The little princess alligator additionally dressed a conventional white bridal gown with a veil and the other vibrant clothing. The 7-year-old reptile is thought to be a goddess of the ground mother, whose union with a local chief will bring prosperity for a city. So, yes, a man can marry with an alligator if it is needed to bring happiness and prosperity for society as well as to keep alive the traditions. This is all from the Europe news presented by Desi in Europe. Our job is to update you about the most important news of Europe and around the globe. Please do not forget to join our Facebook group. You can find the link in the description of this video. And thank you for watching Europe news presented by Desi in Europe. See you in the next video. Wishing you all a very healthy and wealthy life. Have a good day.